Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll discuss how single mothers blame men for being bad fathers, even though they chose to have children with these men. Why doesn't a beta provider show up to take care of Chad's kids? Watch as a woman tells a single mother the harsh truth about why children of single mothers are almost always the ones who end up in jail. Your support is super important to us. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We're aiming for 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Share your experiences and advice in the comments. That's what helps this community grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's get started.
Sometimes being a single mom makes me feel completely robbed of my motherhood experience. I know deep in my bones that if I had more support, I could show up better. I know I would be more patient. I would have so much more time to just pour into myself and be a better mom and also pour into my son. But being a single parent or an only parent means that you're literally doing everything on your own. You carry 100% of the burden. And sometimes I wonder who I would be if I had more support. During my pregnancy, especially when Adrian was younger, and especially now. And then you wonder how your kid's gonna remember you. And usually when you have two healthy parents, someone can just step in when the other one's having a mental breakdown or they need space, and you don't get that when you're a single parent. Or at least you don't get that when you're the only parent. And the kicker is that you can never fully lean into your maternal energy because you're always shape-shifting from masculine to feminine because you have to give tough love too. And sometimes I don't want to be the bad guy. Any major life decision, any parenting decision is made completely on your own. And you will spend 50% of the time wondering if it was the right call and not having anyone to be like, yes, babe, that was right. Or you're not crazy. Or I back you on that. Not to mention realizing that literally 90% of the memories that I make with my son, I'm the only one who will remember, and I have no one to share them with because kids don't remember stuff. And I know I'm a good mom, but I just know it's not supposed to be this hard.
And if you wanted all that, why didn't you stay married? Why didn't you stay with the father of your child? Why did you choose to be a single mother if what you longed for was something different? All I see is someone who wants things they once had and let go. It's well known that the most important decision in a woman's life is choosing the father of her children, seeking out a Chad for fun, and then, when things get serious, hoping a beta provider will come along to fix the chaos. But men who have worked hard to become providers are not going to accept that burden. No one wants to carry the weight of another man's mistakes. I've always said that a man should take responsibility for his seed, and the men of value watching this video who are fathers do just that. The real problem here is that society has normalized and even praised female independence to such a degree that the consequences are being ignored. Raising a child alone is not ideal, and while it may sound harsh, that's the reality. Making decisions without considering the long-term consequences, like who will be the father of your child, is what leads to these kinds of difficulties.
You want to know what the worst part about being a single mom is you get robbed of a certain motherhood experience. It just doesn't exist for you. When you're a single mom, you don't get to operate in a certain way because you're carrying a different type of load. And that, I think, is the most frustrating / heartbreaking thing, because it's just damn, if I had a different level of support, the way that I could run, the way that I could carry it. And props for how you carry the load that you have. But it's just you sit there and you think how great could I have been had I had the certain level of support that I deserved during pregnancy, during raising your children, whatever that looks like. It's just I don't know, sometimes I have that moment of reflection where I'm wow, not only did you not show up, you stole something from me.
God didn't take anything from you. It was your free will that led you to give that man access to your bed. I don't believe you didn't see other men. You simply chose him to father your child. Now that the expected result of having a child with a Chad has come to pass, you complain about the burden that comes with it. Those with a mentality that life owes them something are always the ones who perceive themselves as the victim. It's like saying that all the decisions you made have nothing to do with what happened. This is why we say that responsibility is kryptonite for women, because they remove themselves from the problem. Many women regretfully say, if I had had support, everything would be different. Of course, everything would be different if, From the beginning, they had chosen a man who was willing to share the burden. But here's the issue. First, they choose Chad for the fun, and then they complain when that same man isn't there for the responsibilities.
All of my single moms, I just need to know, are you guys okay? Like, at what point does it stop being terrifying? But you have someone else's entire livelihood in your hands. I've been having some just really hard days. Where are you guys keeping it together?
Single mothers have a high rate of raising children who become criminals. Studies have shown that children of single mothers are at a significantly higher risk of facing serious issues in adulthood, such as academic failure, poverty, and entry into the penal system. According to the Brookings Institution, children raised in single-parent households are almost twice as likely to live in poverty compared to those growing up in families with both parents present. Furthermore, the American Sociological Association has reported that these children are 20% to 30% less likely to complete high school, which increases their long-term economic and social vulnerability. When it comes to the penal system, the statistics are alarming. A study by the U.S. Department of Justice revealed that children of single mothers are more likely to end up in prison than those raised in two-parent households. But of course, they don't need a man. They're strong and independent.
Baby, how am I picking them? You're part of the problem. Why am I attracting that? Bro, it's the same thing I always say. If you 3 baby daddies in and they all deadbeats, you are a poor decision-making woman. And I'm not trying to beat that down, into you, but maybe you need to stop for a second, stop popping them kids out like they candy, and chill out and reassess yourself and really reevaluate and be like, okay, what's going on with me? Because I'm not a cum bucket, because that's how it's coming off. That's how it come off to me. I'm sorry. Anybody that want to release in me can. There's no specialness in it. Anybody could get me pregnant. That's how I feel. That's how it looks. You don't have no type of self-control or thought process. You knew this dude for 3 months. And then this another thing. We were just talking. I was talking to our makeup artist about this. If you are someone who is not a good judge of character, and girl, by 2 baby daddies, you know if you a good judge of character. I don't care, because if both is bad, both baby daddies deadbeats, like we said, girl. So if you know that, right? Wait, get to know them. People can only hide who they are for so long, unless they are psychopaths. Or you're just completely lying to yourself.
Finally, a woman with her feet on the ground. You are the one choosing the man. You've known him for barely 3 months, and you already have a child with him. I can feel some sympathy for a woman who was married for many years, had children, and then the father dies or cheats on her. After that, they split up, and the man wants nothing to do with the kids. That man is at fault there because he's not taking responsibility for his seed. Every man should be responsible for his children. But for a woman who says, "Why do I attract bad men?" If you already have children with 3 different men, and all of them turned out to be problematic, then the problem isn't them. The problem is you. If you've been involved with several men who are no good, it's time to stop and reassess how you choose your partners. It's not about bad luck. It's about making bad decisions over and over again. Then you want men to feel sorry for this and expect them to date single mothers and care for the child as their own. Men are no longer beta providers for anyone. They've learned that this is a bad idea.
Single mothers are literally the worst parents on the entire planet. That's the first thing. And statistics back that. So over 70% of young men that grow up under a single mother in particular, end up in prison. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, 68% of young women that grow up under a single mother in particular end up a single mother herself. But when it comes to a two-parent family and a single father household, a young man has a 90% chance of never going to prison. And that is one of the biggest differences why we men have to go get our children from these freaking women. That is an issue, because the reason why so many of us are messed up is because we were all, or most of us, were raised by women, which are the worst parents on the entire planet, statistical wise.
First of all, single mothers are not the worst parents on the entire planet. I think the disadvantage that comes with single parenting is the worst situation on the entire planet, because the kids are truly at a lot of disadvantages. And if you're a woman and you intentionally choose to keep your children's father out of their lives, you're putting them at this disadvantage. And that's just pure witchcraft, period.
Totally. If a man has children with a woman, not all men want to disappear from the equation. The problem is that a judge steps in and tells you that you can see your child once a week, or the mother starts putting up obstacles so you can't see your child, only to demand money just for the chance to be with them. It's well known today that having children, for many single mothers, is almost like a business. Many threaten the father, demanding more money or gifts just to allow him time with his children. They even make plans on the father's visitation days, and like this woman says, they deliberately choose to keep the man out of the child's life. It's worse when she is the one who files for divorce, 80% of the time, and then also wants to push the father out of the children's lives with financial blackmail. Some fathers haven't seen their kids in years because the mother has made their lives impossible. We're not even talking about cases of paternity fraud, but there is a serious problem with single mothers, and the world applauds them as victims when, in many cases, they are the real problem. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Are you a single father? How is your relationship with the mother of your children? Have you ever met a woman who has several children, each with a different father? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.